What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Nick Graz show. In today's episode, we're having somebody who is a high performance coach. And yes, I know that we did a couple of episodes with people who are high performance coaches, but one thing which I love about them is that they're very much in need to the nowadays society. What we need about them is that they're here to help us in the nowadays environment when we see all these shiny screenshots, wins, everything is beautiful on the social media, and we know that reality is not like that. In order to we execute our tasks and to be better and to actually come to that state of high performing, we need high performance coaches. Today with me, Dave Sheehan. Dave, did I pronounce it well?
You pronounced it perfect, Nick. Thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is our second call, actually. And on the first call, when we were discussing this episode, one thing which stuck in my head, and I truly admire you for that, this is that you spent 3 decades dedicating your life to helping others. So please, let's go from the very beginning. Who is Dave Sheehan, and why have you did that? Why have you spent 3 decades of helping other people's lives?
Yeah, sure. It's even hard to believe. 3 decades is such a long time. I have to pinch myself sometimes when I realize how
Well,
long it's been.
I'm 33 right now, so that's entire my life.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. But I'm 46, so nearly 47. So basically since I was nearly 17, that's when I really got into this. But why did I do that? Why did I decide to dedicate the last 30 years? Where for me, it feels like it's my purpose. It feels even what happened before that and what's happened in my journey is why I do what I do. So I truly live every day genuinely wanting to educate people, motivate, and hopefully inspiring them by what I put out there. And if I'm working with them or if I'm webinars or podcasts or whatever it may be, where they come from. Well, where it started was really from 7 to 17, those years. From 7 to 17 were years for me that I absolutely hated myself. I had zero self-esteem, no self-image, suicidal thoughts all the time, semi-attempts, I would call, as opposed to full attempts. I did not want to be here. What made it even more challenging for me was that on the outside, no one would have known anything was going on like that inside my head. Because
Wow.
outwardly, I was very happy-go-lucky. I would be trying to make people laugh. I would be very sociable. I would look like everything was great. But on the inside, it was the complete opposite. And when I look back now, I can see how no matter what I was going through, I was still gravitating towards helping people. That's where people would come to me, tell me problems. I would help them, even in the midst of my own. I was getting into giving off positive energy despite what was going on in my own head. And that's what I said, as I said, made it so difficult that I had certain things going on in my own head. And then on the outside, it was totally different. Like no one knew what was going on. So as I said, I had all those kind of issues. And then when I got to 17, that's when I went to university. A friend of mine who was with me in university was big into training. I'd always been into sports, but not like gym type training. And he was at me and at me to go with him. And I was there, no, 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 I'm not going. Because in my head, the gym was just a bunch of knucklehead bodybuilders. And I'd be there with just these puny weights looking like a complete idiot. And I already thought I looked horrific in every kind of sense. Like I said, my self-esteem, everything was terrible. So and how I thought I looked, my face, my body, everything. I was in a bad way. But he kept at me and at me and at me. And one of many turning points in my life was where I decided, right, I need to shut this guy up. I'm tired of him badgering me to go to the gym. I'm going to go once and then that's that done. I went that once. I never came out. That was the start of my journey because it wasn't quite the knucklehead bodybuilder only environment. I felt great after the workout. I felt great as I got into it more and more. And over the coming weeks and months, I really immersed myself into exercising, eating better, drinking water, different things like that, working on my mindset. So I went through my own bit of transformation. That was like my therapy. And over the course of years, like I say to people now, where I am now in my mindset, my lifestyle, my non-negotiables, all these kind of things, like that's 30 years in the making. This where there's nothing that happens overnight. Like you're saying, the shiny objects and so on in life that people see. Things don't happen overnight. It takes time. So I'm 30 years in the making, but I had quite a massive impact from exercise, nutrition, all those kind of elements that are all part of high performing lives on my mindset. And once I suppose it was about 2 years in, I was in a good place, felt good in myself, good self-esteem, better self-esteem, I suppose you could call it. better self-image. And then I started to work with some people who also wanted help. And I kind of said, look, I want to dedicate my life to helping other people experience what I did and the life-changing effect that these elements can have when you introduce them.
Wow, that's very powerful. And now, when we're speaking about high performance coaching, what does it mean to somebody have a good energy? How would you
So like,
define that? Like,
yeah, like energy, I suppose it's a necessity of life if you want to do things. So, whatever you want your life to be like, whatever progress you may want, whatever change, you're going to need some energy to do it. Even just to get out of bed takes an element of energy. To go through your day, overcome obstacles and challenges, it needs energy. And the thing is, we are all energy as well. So like we're giving off energy, we're then attracting in energy. So like the whole world, everything is about energy. So we're only turning energy for our bodies to function as well as for our brains to function. A lot of times people forget that the two of them are very interconnected. So how we treat our body will have a big impact on how we treat our brain. How we treat and feed our brains is going to have a big impact on how our body functions. So all of them are interconnected. We have to really focus on how do we improve energy if you want to improve your life. And there's so many different elements that come into how you get more energy.
this very interesting stuff, because it leads to the point to ask you a little bit about, you said like even when we go to sleep, we need an energy. So can you a little bit clarify me that? Because for me and for so many people, it may sound like, okay, you just need energy to close your eyes. You're done.
Yeah.
So can you a little bit execute on that, please?
Of course. Like, look, where do we get energy from? We get it from our nutrition, we get it from hydration, we get it from being outside, we get it from exercise. But sleep is the most important piece of the jigsaw. Like, if you're not getting quality sleep, you're not going to function optimally the next day or the next day or the next day. Not just, again, just your body, your brain as well. Now, why is that? You're doing what you're doing all day. What is sleep? Sleep is where your body regenerates itself, rejuvenates itself. If you're training, your muscles are recovering, your brain's getting a rest. It's the only time it's getting an actual rest, or should get a rest. Now, the problem for most people is the brain isn't getting a rest. If I walked into, I'm sure it'd be 90, 95, even 99% of the audience's room tonight, everyone will look like they're asleep, but the reality is it's only their vessel looks asleep, but they're not asleep. Now, that might be, what the hell, that doesn't make any sense. I'm asleep. There's a big difference between looking asleep and being asleep. If you're not experiencing quality sleep, like deep sleep, REM, rapid eye movement, that is sleep, restorative sleep, when you get up the next day, it'll be as if you haven't slept. You'll have got none of the benefits of sleep, and then that will have a knock-on effect to the day, where your energy will be affected, your mood will be affected, your brain function will be affected, concentration, memory, everything. That'll then have a knock-on effect to how successful that day will be. And then the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Okay. Now, there's a few things. I'll share a few little tips on how you can improve your sleep, because it's quite a wide area. There's a lot of different things. But two things that are important is your sleep hygiene, it's called, which is kind of things you do around sleep, and in your sleep environment. So that's literally your environment, where you're sleeping. Now, does anyone know what the thing is, the one thing that destroys sleep more than anything else? Because this is something that most people don't know or don't realize or are surprised at. It's this thing.
Oh yeah, I could
this
name
mobile phone.
I could name a couple of things which destroyed sleep.
Yeah, go on, give me a few.
I think that one of the things which can destroy our sleep, it's probably food or drinks right before we're going to sleep. And I recently realized for myself that I'm having a problem if I eat too close to the time when I'm going to sleep. I'm having very bad sleep, because obviously my stomach still works and there are so many processes running out. And I felt myself that this kind of sleeping is terrible. I wake up myself being way tired than I went when I went to bed. Than I was when I went to bed. And one more thing which I believes that disturbs sleep as us, like humans who are very much working, is definitely a phone. I would say that, because I read some studies out there that the blue light influence our cortex and so on. So can you please tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah,
because I know you're
it's great. The two things you added, they're perfect. Like, again, food, eating too close to bed. What happens when you eat food? The body's trying to digest, then you're trying to sleep. Like the body can't do both things at once. So it's going to have to do something with it. So it has a big disturbance to your sleep when you eat too close. Because one, it's an uncomfortable feeling anyway. But then the body's having to process it. It basically like saves it. It's like saving it in a bank in the liver. So it puts it to the liver for like as a backup, for the backup for the next day. But that whole process is a disturbing element of sleep. You mentioned drink. So alcohol, even if you have one drink, I mean, literally one drink before bed, you can't get to deep sleep. You cannot get to REM sleep, which means you can't get proper restorative sleep. Because in the night, ideally, if you can get proper sleep, all things working out the way it should, you should go through 3 or 4 sleep cycles. Each will be about an hour 15 to an hour 45. REM sleep will happen about midway point in each of those. So if you can't even get to deep sleep, REM sleep, how the hell are you going to have a good sleep? You won't. So one drink even, doesn't matter if you have 1 or 10, it's still the same impact. Not telling people never drink, but the thing is to be aware of these things. But you're going to have situations where you will eat late and you will drink before bed, but make sure they're very isolated, not very frequent. Now, onto the phone. The phone is such a big one. And for most people, again, I always ask these questions in seminars and stuff that, do you have your phone beside you in bed on your bedside locker? Practically everyone always says yes. Do you have it on? Yes. Do you have the notifications on? Yes. Oh, but I have it on silent. Makes no difference. The phone is on. You have it charging? Yes. So you've got not only the radiation from the phone beside your head, you've got the electromagnetic frequency pumping in from the outside. Then every time the notifications go off, it's like a pulse, a massive pulse of radiation. And when you've got that close to your head, same thing like the alcohol, you cannot go into deep sleep. It's impossible. Of course, all that radiation and EMF is not good for you anyway. But from a sleep-specific point of view, you cannot get into deep sleep. It's impossible. Doesn't matter what you do, how long you stay in bed, you're not going to get deep sleep. So when I work with people and I get them to literally just turn off that phone, or if they want to leave it on, put it out in the hall or out in the hallway or the landing, or leave it somewhere far from their head, it's instant. This is where I can guarantee anyone who currently has their phone on at night or has it plugged in, if you turn it off tonight, I can guarantee you will have a better sleep, the best sleep maybe ever, because we are growing up in a culture of having our phones on all the time. And then you add the blue light, like you said, if you're on the phone before you go to sleep, you're activating again your eyes and the retina and so on, and your brain. So it's not again getting a rest. Same as watching TV, being on laptops, tablets, anything that's a device, it's giving you that blue light, which again stops you getting to deep sleep. So it's like when someone falls asleep watching TV, they're, oh, I fell asleep watching TV. Your vessel looked asleep, you weren't asleep in terms of what sleep should mean. So
I fully agree to that, what you're saying. And I just want to say one thing. When we speak about high performance, we speak about people who are focused. People who are focused on their current tasks, whatever their current tasks is. One of the most distractive thing I believe that in the world ever created, it's a smartwatch. Because I found that this thing distracts people literally in a second. For every buzz, for every notification, there is a turn, watch, goes down. How do you find this as a person who deal with the clients who have problem with focus? How focus is important in high performance abilities of people?
It's one of the most important things if you want to lead a high performing life. Like, you have to minimize or eliminate your distractions, because if you don't, you're doing something, you're distracted, you're going to go back, half concentrate and start again. So you can't make progress if you're constantly distracted. So what I always advise people to do is, like what I do on my phone, notifications all off, because we are conditioned by social media and the phone and society that every time we're contacted to react to it. If there's a ping, it's like 100%. React. 100%. We have to react. It's like the world's going to end if we don't react.
I'm one of the rare people who never, ever turn the sound on the mobile phone, no matter who calls me.
I'm the same.
My phone is 24 hours, and I can even show to people on do not disturb mode. Simply because I'm not a person who react. I'm not a person who likes to immediately jump on the calls and so on. I'm very, very deep into my work. I'm very frequently surrounded by clients, by people who needs me, and as well with my family. And there is definitely nothing what is that urgent that I must reply right away. So I'm very much paying attention to this and trying to stay away of distractions.
Exactly. And like Nick, that's why you're high performing. That's why you're so successful. And the bottom line, what I always stress to people is that phone is pinging, could be notifications, comments, phone calls, messages, whatever. Whoever is contacting you, to them, it's the most important thing. To you, it could be 100 on your list. You should
Absolutely.
not be reacting. Like I'm the same as you. My phone is on silent all the time. All my apps are off, no notifications except for WhatsApp, which I use for client support. And I only check my phone at certain times of the day, and I do certain tasks certain times of the day. So I'm in control. It's like military operation. So if you want to be a high performer in life, you have to focus on productivity and prioritization.
Absolutely. And I will use the chance to show to people one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm someone who had recently probably 17, 18,000 unread emails from the email marketing for the applications.
Yeah.
And all the time on my screen was so many red dots. And I then Googled and said, what is the option to my phone? Never show me that. I don't want to see it. I will see it in the moment when I open the app, and that's it. I found this using the Chat GPT and for the iPhone. And guys, you can
Very
see
good.
my social medias are clean. There are no
Perfect.
notifications. There are no red bars around.
Ideal.
Nothing to distract me, and I feel myself way more dedicated to the certain stuff which I'm doing. The other thing which I want to ask you is right now into the habits and routines. And I want to ask you, what are some of the key habits and key routines which people lead towards success and high performance practice? What is something people should develop?
Perfect. Now, one thing I would start with would be literally the start of your day. Like how you start anything usually impacts how you end it. Doesn't matter if it's the hour, if it's the day, the week, the month, the quarter, the year, but how you start every day is massive. Now, what most people do is, again, they pick up the phone or they're picking up a cigarette. It's one or the other, right? Mightn't even have got out of bed. Worst thing ever. You need to start your day taking care of you, not looking to see what other people want of you. And also, if you take better care of you, you can take better care of other people, whether that's clients or family or friends. Crucial. So when you get up, I advise everybody who doesn't have one, start the morning routine. Do something for your mind that stimulates in a positive way. It could be listening to a podcast, it could be watching a video, it could be reciting mantras or repeating things to yourself that you want to do in life or achieve or experience. Do stuff for your body, move your body. It doesn't have to be a full workout. If you want to do a workout, great. It could be just going for a walk, get fresh air. It could be jumping around to some song you like. Do something good for your health. Drink water. Your water is literally energy. Like your body is 75% water. Your brain, more importantly, is 83% water with zero ability to retain water, which means if you're not hydrated, your brain ain't working the way it potentially can. For most people, they're not even working at a fraction of the level of a high performance it could be at, just from that one thing, drinking water. Hydrate your brain, hydrate your body. Drink it first thing in the morning because you won't have had water in 6, 8, 10, 12 hours. Move your body, feed your body, hydrate your body, feed your mind. It could be a routine for 10 minutes. It could be a routine for an hour. Like my morning routine takes about 50 minutes to an hour. That again isn't saying you have to spend that long. Again, remember, that's morphed over time. Like even meditation, I do a 5-minute meditation in the morning, every morning. But I struggled with meditation for many years because all I heard was you have to do for 40 minutes, an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever. And I wasn't able to settle myself for that long at that time, years ago. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? This isn't working for me trying to do 20, 30 minutes. I'm going to do 1 minute for a full year. And I did that. And when I did that for a full year, I did it for two minutes for a full year. And I built it. And now I've got 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. It's still not a massive amount compared to what some people say, but I'm ticking the box to meditate. I'm meditating every day. And it's not about the quantity. It's like everything, it's quality. Some people meditate, they say, oh, for an hour, but they might be in the moment. Meditation is very much about being in the moment and being present with it and getting the benefit of it. So a morning routine is massive. Also, an evening routine is really important. Evening routine, bit of journaling. I always recommend write down 3 wins from the day because sometimes we can have very frustrating days. We think, Christ, I was meant to do this and that, and I haven't made much inroad in my list, and this thing has taken longer than I thought, and we're frustrated. And we feel it wasn't a successful day. Whereas you'll always have wins in your day. So identify 3 wins that make you feel better about the day. It'll put you a bit more at peace, less stressed about the current situation or tomorrow. Also write 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude is such a powerful, powerful force. And again, we all have so much to be grateful for. So they're one end of either end of the day, that's 2 things to do. Another thing from a productivity, high performance level in terms of with work and life. Every morning, identify 1 to 3 things from your to-do list, which will never stop growing. You're never getting that to-do list done. That's just a reality, especially in modern life, where it gets added to, added to, added to. I look at it all and pick 1 to 3 things for that day that are priority, rank them 1 to 3, and then focus on one, back to the focus, no distractions, throw your phone in the drawer, whatever. Get number 1 done. When 1 is done, go to 2, and so on and so on. Like if people were to just do those 3 things, that would transform their productivity dramatically. And again, there are such key high performance strategies.
I love it. Absolutely. You're bringing so good points over here, and you're opening tons of questions for me to ask you, because
Great.
everything what you say, it's very powerful. And when we're speaking about to-do lists, are you a believer in not to-do lists, simply to setting up boundaries? Like that's definitely I'm not going to do no matter what.
Yeah, boundaries are really important. It even goes back to the phone thing. You know, again, I'm not going to be reactive. I'm going to decide when I look at my phone. I'm going to decide when I go on Facebook or Instagram. I'm going to decide when I check even my client messages. So like, again, for me, my day, I treat it like a jigsaw. You've got a 24-hour jigsaw every day. You've got a 168-hour jigsaw every week. You've all these pieces. Where are you putting the pieces? And then be very disciplined about them. You need to have boundaries around people more than anything, really, because people will draw on your time. Remember, in their mind, they're doing what's best for them. That's a normal human instinct. So if they're trying to get you to do something or talk to you or push you on a project or whatever it might be, that's because it's the most important thing for them. Doesn't mean it's the most important thing for you. So again, you need to divide that. It's also important to have boundaries between when you're on and when you're off, as I call it. So you have an on switch and off switch. So when you're working, be on, be focused, don't be distracted. That's massive. But when you're off, make sure you're off. Don't be around your family with your laptops and your mobile phones and things like that. Don't be saying, oh, I'm off now, and then you're watching a movie, but you're still on your phone tapping away. Because I've been through this myself years ago, and in my head, yeah, I'm off because I'm in the sitting room watching a movie with them. But in reality, no, I'm not. I might as well be in the office. So have clear boundaries. Remember, it's about high performance. High performance, again, is productivity, getting stuff done and getting stuff done fast and making massive progress really, really fast. And you need your recharge time and recovery time and like that, family, friends, kids, whatever it is in your life at the moment, partners, whatever. You need to give that time too, but also give you time. You know, like you need to give yourself block time. So like years ago, I used to love going to the cinema, even on my own. People thought it was weird. To me, I'm dealing with people all day. Being on my own in a dark room, watching a movie, total escapism and distraction, it's heaven. But the important thing was it was for me. So I'm big into football. So for me, every week, I love watching football matches. That's my distraction. That's my escapism. So there are my chunks of the week that are for me and for me only. And I need that. So again, boundaries. But when I'm on, I'm on. So let's say on a Monday morning, 6 o'clock, I am on, and I am on until typically Friday afternoon. And then I'm switched off. Now, sometimes I would choose and decide myself, I'm going to need to do a couple of hours on Saturday or Sunday. But remember, I'm deciding. I'm in control. It's all about being in control of your life, not being run by other people, not being run by stress, not being run by societal conditioning, not being run by anything except for what you decide to do. And that's where boundaries are really important.
That's very powerful, because my next question to you is, honestly, what are some common mistakes people make when they try to boost their productivity then?
When they try to boost, is it?
Their productivity, when they try to improve their productivity.
Okay. I suppose it all depends on how they're doing it. You know, what kind of strategies they're trying to put in. You know, have they got a plan? Like it's like the saying goes, it's there for a long time. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So it's well and good, like having the intention, okay, I'm going to be more productive. But where are you getting that from? You know, are you getting that from something you've read? Are you getting it from a mentor? Are you getting it from your own kind of decisions? You know, what is your history shown in terms of, are you good at prioritizing and being productive and organizing, or are you not? And if you're not, it's highly advisable to invest in improving that skill in some form, whether it be watching free stuff, reading free stuff, or investing in a mentor of some kind. And we all need mentors in different areas of our life at different times of our life to fast track things. So that's the one thing. The other thing is, again, like, prioritize the different things you're trying to do. So whatever kind of strategy you may be trying to implement, which again is the most important, which will have the biggest impact. Like, if you're at a phase of your life where you need to make more money, like you're really in a bad way, you need to focus on income generating activities, because it's very easy to be busy. I know people who are busy 16, 17, 18 hours a day. Their lives never change. They're not high performing. They're the total opposite. They're putting the time in, but this is where, again, the quantity is there, the quality is not. They're not doing income generating activities. So are you doing income generating activities? If you're trying to, let's say, move your life forward, be like you for the podcast. If you wanted to increase the listenership by 10 times, you're going to do certain things to get that. So your question you'd ask yourself a few times a day is this the most effective and beneficial use of my time to move me towards where I'm trying to get to? And that can be a reboot sometimes. I always get people to initially set reminders on their phone every hour to ask themselves that question, because we can easily get lost in the work we're doing and we feel we're busy if we're doing something. But is it the most effective use of my time to get the result that I desire? That's all that actually matters. Absolutely. So little things like a phone reminder going off, ask you that question, that would be very helpful to people in terms of implementing productivity.
That's absolutely very important. And we're coming to the topic of where most of our listeners and viewers will say now, it's all about self-discipline. But sure, it's about self-discipline, but what strategies can people use to stay disciplined? Because one thing is set up alarm. Another thing is really being committed to follow that alarm or just snooze it and ignore it. So what would you advise? How to start?
It's like the alarm. Let's just start the start of the day. It's great setting it, first step done. But when that thing goes off, are you ready to jump out of bed and get going? Or are you thinking, oh, it's a bit cozy here, I'll give it another 5-10 minutes, I'll press snooze. You know, so it's about commitment. Like, you have to decide, if you want to lead a high performing life, you want to move your life to a place, especially like what you perceive yourself as really successful, because it's all down to our own perception of what that word even means. You need to be committed. So you need to decide, what am I committed to doing? So if you're going to set an alarm for 6, you need to get up at 6. I don't mean literally jump out of bed. Everyone likes being in bed. No one jumps out and thinks, yes, can't wait. You know, everyone's a little sluggish, but you get up. Like for me, at 6 o'clock in the morning, Monday to Friday, I am out of bed. It doesn't matter what's going on. I'm into my morning routine. It doesn't matter what I feel like. Because the reality is, it's like with exercise. How many people can say they actually really, really want to go and work out? It's a rarity. You don't want to work out. You do because it's a non-negotiable lifestyle habit, you know, gives you so many benefits. Same as all these things, morning routines, evening routines, looking at your 1 to 3 priorities, certain work tasks you're going to do, certain meetings, your nutrition, your sleeping habits, all these things. You have to make them non-negotiables. Now, of course, you can't do them all at once. This is a mistake a lot of people make. It's like if someone goes, they want to lose a certain number of pounds by a wedding or a holiday or something. Most people will go and they're looking for a magic, shiny pill, some quick fix solution. There is no such thing. Same as making money or exploding your business. It takes hard work, resilience, being persistently consistent, and not letting anyone stop you or anything stop you, overcoming obstacles or finding a way up, through, over, around, or whatever. So it comes down again to dedication, discipline, resilience, and proving that you really want it, you know. And one thing that's really important to light fire under all of that is your why. You need to have a why. Everyone needs to identify what is their why. To wake up in the morning, to get going, to do what you need to do to be a high performer. Why do you do it? It's like for myself, mine for the last 19 years has been my son. So I wanted to give him the best life I possibly could. Also, I wanted to be a good role model for him. So I wanted to show how to, again, lead a high performing life, be the best I could be, aim for goals and dreams and make them actually a reality. Let him see all of that, as well as their general lifestyle in terms of being healthy, active, and so on. And that has been such a big why for me. So there's been many times, because life is a roller coaster. We all have amazing times, we all have some dark times. That's how life is. It's never a straight line. But there's times when I have not wanted to even get out of bed. But my thought was, what's my why? My son. I can't let him see me react this way to this situation. I have to get up, even if I don't want to. Like, except to work out. I don't want to go work out. I'm tired. I haven't eaten right. I'm stressed. I need to do this work. It's really pressurized and it's urgent. Doesn't matter. You need to do your workout. Even instead of an hour for 15 minutes, you tick that box. So if people, again, want to be high performance, they need to have non-negotiables and continuously be committed to evolving into better versions of themselves, which will mean over time you get more and more and more non-negotiables. And that all ties into, like I said, the jigsaw. 24-hour jigsaw, 168-hour jigsaw. So like in my jigsaws, there's a lot of it is complete non-negotiables. They are happening no matter what. And there's other pieces then are unique to specific days or specific weeks, or they're completely out of the blue. It could be just once a year or something. So you have to create non-negotiables. And no matter what you feel like, you were doing it. And be committed to it. Show you really want it. That's what it boils down to.
That's very interesting what you're saying here, because I think that mindset plays such a big role in all of these stuffs, and we have constantly and continually to grow our mindset. But as well, you're bringing a topic which I'm strongly supporting, and this is that once you find your why you're doing certain things, like you found for your son, it simply pushes you to do it no matter what. And when we come to this point, can you please tell me, how do you balance the drive for success with maintaining personal well-being and avoiding burnout?
Because again, for high performers, that's such a perilous place that you end up in. Because look, you're driving towards success, you're ambitious, you want to do X, Y, Z. Also, there's a whole thing about momentum. It's like a snowball. His first push is bloody hard, it's small, you push and push. It's getting a little bit bigger, but not very fast. Pushing, starts to get bigger, it gets momentum, it's going down a hill, it explodes, it takes off, it's a gigantic snowball. And when you're experiencing that, it's very hard to pull the reins, because at the end of the day, if you're a high performer or desire to be, you live off that drug of success. Like, we love that drug of success, and it's like a drug, and it's a very positive drug, but it is one you have to control, because otherwise it will control you. That's why there's many people who are seen as super successful, even they're millionaires, billionaires, and so on, and they've got so many things going on in their life, but they're not happy. And at the end of the day, you have to try and balance the two. And I always stress to people, especially when they're starting out in business or an entrepreneurs, or if they're get a good position in a company or whatever it might be, that you need to decide, again, like go back to boundaries. You need to decide your boundaries now, and you need to live with those boundaries. If you move them a bit, like you're going to do more work, take a little less care of yourself for a phase, you're deciding to do that. It isn't the fact that success or growth or projects is making you do it by just going along with it. You have to be making the decisions, because if you're in control, you're in control. That's the key. So you have to, again, set those kind of boundaries. And it goes back to, as well, to the non-negotiable side of things. So let's say, if you want to be truly a high performer, it's not just about work, it's not just about projects, not just about clients, it's not even just about sleep. Exercise is really important. The most successful people will always have exercise to some degree. Their nutrition, their hydration. Again, go back to the mindset, what they're feeding their minds, and then the sleep as well. If you truly want to be at your highest performance, let's say, because we all have unlimited potential, and some people could be a millionaire, but if they sorted out those areas, they could be a billionaire, or whatever way their lives are. Okay, because for me, like, the key foundation to everything is how much control you have in your mind, body, and health, that whole area. So you need to feed your mind positivity, feed it good information, and also what you need to feed it is the right people. So you need to look at your circle. I stress to people, audit your circle regularly. Are the people in your life right now adding to your life, or are they taken from your life? And for many people, there'll be too many people in their lives that are taken from it. Taken can be just to bring negative energy. They make you feel low and down. If you're even thinking about being in their company, not even being with them, that's going to affect what you do after you're finished with them. So look at the people. Are they adding, or are they taken? If they're taken and bringing nothing to it, you need to eliminate, or at least limit exposure to it, which for family members, typically that would be the option, because it's hard to eliminate family members. You need to look at the kind of people you want to have in your life. So focus on adding like-minded people. Join groups, networking groups, people who are in similar type of industry as you, certain work colleagues, if you work with colleagues like that, mentors, masterminds, there's loads of options out there. Make sure you're adding the right people. So feed your mind the right people talking to you, who support you and champion you and push you on and educate you and are good role models for you. And also the material, what you read, watch, and listen to. Really important to feed your mind. Because the bottom line is, your mind is the control tower. With everything else, doesn't matter what you feed it, what exercise you do, sleep, all those things. Your mind is the control tower, even in your productivity and prioritization. If you're not in control of your mind, you're going nowhere. It's like with airplanes, the control tower is the key. So you need to make sure you're in control of your mind and focus on that and remind yourself regularly, my mind is the control tower. Now, am I feeding it what will help and serve me? Or am I feeding my mind stuff that's going to make me feel like doing nothing, being lazy, choosing the easier option, make excuses, play the blame game, justify poor actions? Which is it going to be? And remember, it's your choice. Because the key thing everyone needs to do is need to take personal responsibility for all and every aspect of their life. Their business, their money, their relationships, their health, their body shape, the way their mind works, sleep, everything. We are in control because we are in charge of how we react to everything. Yes, other people can have an impact on us, but we always choose how we react. That's why we can't make excuses, can't play the blame game, can't justify poor action because it's on us. People need to eyeball themselves and ask themselves genuinely at the end of each day, was that genuinely my best effort? Could I have done more? And be totally honest. So your mind is massive. You need to take care of your health. At the end of the day, like I said, water, 83% is what your brain's made up of. If you don't be hydrated, how the hell do you expect to function properly? You don't get brain function to work really well with loads of soft drinks and energy drinks and Monster and alcohol and all these kind of things. It's water. Coffee can be good, but in a controlled way. Tea is no harm, especially herbal stuff. So it's important that from the liquid point of view. Food then, 20% of the calories you consume go to your brain. So if you're eating loads of stuff like takeaways, that's what's feeding your brain. If you're eating whole food, homemade meals, that's feeding your brain. You're going to have a very different brain function if you're McDonald's versus, let's say, a smoothie or a homemade stir fry or something like that. It's going to be quite different how your brain's going to work. So you'll be very conscious of the power of what you eat and how it feeds your brain and how it makes your body function. And remember, again, there's a connection between your brain to your body and your body to your brain. Like you were talking to your cells all the time. So it's very important, again, to have that positivity running through you. Move in your body. As I said, first thing in the morning is part of morning routine. Move your body. It gives you energy, makes you feel better. We all want to look good and feel good. And look, we're all vain, but there's more bigger picture to it than that. There's longevity. We all want to live long, healthy, vibrant lives. Who wants to lose their independence? Who wants to be riddled with diseases and spend 10, 20 years suffering and being full of medication? Again, we're in control. We need to decide what we do today because that impacts our future. So every single thing we're doing, we're take personal responsibility. And all that then ties to how much of a high-performing life you're living. So again, the more boxes, the more positive boxes you're ticking, the more energy you'll have, the better brain function you'll have, the more focus and better concentration you'll have. All that then, of course, ties into your business, your career, your finances, everything. And everything will go the right direction if you're taking control of these areas. So put a huge focus on it, and I can guarantee the impact. Like I said with the sleep, anyone who does that with the phone tonight, guarantee you better sleep. Do some positive steps around your health, well-being, nutrition, mindset. Again, you're always going one direction. It's again about being committed to evolving into a better version of you. Like have a life of being committed to that, and you can only go one direction.
This is unbelievable what you're saying right now, because this is wow. That's literally like step-by-step blueprint for people how to do it and how to manage it. And I must ask you now, what separates the elite performance and the rest?
Yeah. The difference like that, the top few percent of people who we'll see as being super successful and high performers, I suppose, is a culmination of a lot of what I've said. It's that they have non-negotiables. It's just non-negotiable about, let's say, if you take from a work perspective and income generating, most of their time is going into income generating activities, or they have people on their team whose focus is on income generating activities. So they're always generating the income, and they're always looking at ways to innovate and grow that income. So that's a huge focus. They'll prioritize it. Don't be distracted. I'm sure like Bezos and all these guys and Elon Musk, they don't be checking notifications every 5 minutes. They're prioritizing other bigger picture things. They've got a huge vision. Another important thing with it is actually to tie into vision, self-belief. You have to truly believe in what you're aiming to do. It's great writing down what you want. It's great even doing vision boards, repeating it to yourself all the time, but you have to truly believe in you. You have to believe in the vision that it can become a reality. And you have to believe in yourself that you can make that become a reality. Because if you don't have either of those, you're not going to get there. Self-belief is massive. Doesn't matter if you're a professional footballer or you're a hugely successful business person. Self-belief is absolutely huge. So like the highest performance at every level. If you look at football, especially African footballers, if you hear some of the stories of how they went about even just getting to training as a kid, to my mind, a professional, it's unbelievable. And
Absolutely.
Some people, in Ireland, England, and other countries, they'd be moaning, "Oh, it's raining, I don't want to go training." These guys travel for hours and hours, walking, buses, cycling, everything, the whole day. Like Mohamed Salah, who plays for Liverpool in Egypt, he basically used to spend an entire day just to go training for about an hour or two. Because he had to walk, he had to get buses, he'd get lifts, and he trained and all the way back. They have gone through unbelievable things to get there. But see, people only see the end. They don't see the journey. No one gets to the top without having made enormous sacrifices, without having overcome unbelievable obstacles and challenges. Because the one thing about life is obstacles and challenges are inevitable. It does not matter what you're trying to do, how big your dream is or how small your dream is. You will have obstacles and challenges. Life gives you that inevitably. How you deal with them and how you react to them, that will decide your life experience. That will decide the quality of your life, the quality of everything you do, and if you will turn your dreams into reality. So again, the highest achieving people, they basically have left no one or nothing stop them. They've found a solution to every possible obstacle and challenge, or they've pivoted. So it's really important from that perspective. Plus, again, they have looked again at, more often than not, at the highest people, especially. They do prioritize their health and well-being. You can have a level below them who don't as much, who are maybe unhappy, unhealthy, heart attacks, all that kind of stuff. But the highest, more often than not, they take care of every area. Because again, that's how you can get there. You have to tick the boxes that are, in essence, what a high performer is.
Cool. Love it. I love it, Dave. Today with us, you're sharing like a golden questions. I have a couple of them more for you, and I must use my chance and ask you. And one of them is that you help your clients achieve the high performing standards and start performing on the higher level of themselves. But can you tell me, how do you help your clients handle the setbacks or failure in their journey towards the high performance? How you deal with that?
Great question, because that's one that really stops a lot of people. Like that word failure. Society has made us see failure in a very negative light, negative emotionally and negative energetically. Like if we see that we failed, inverted commas, it's hard to recover. Some people don't recover from it. So what we need to do is we need to reframe it. We need to change our perception completely of that word, because failure is something that needs to be embraced. Because there is no way you can be successful without having what's perceived as failure. Because all failure is an opportunity for you to learn and grow. So if you aim to do something, it doesn't work out, and you see that as I failed. What did I learn from that experience? And if you truly learn the valuable lesson that's there, because there will always be a lesson. Like I said, with life being a roller coaster and obstacles and challenges, they come into your life for a reason, to give you lessons. And you can either embrace them and take them, or you can be oblivious to them, not even see them. And that's people who go into excuse and blame mode. It's never their fault. So they don't even see the lesson. If you're open-minded to see lessons in failure or obstacles or challenges, you basically move on into your future better armed with more tools to take on the next one and take on even bigger failures, obstacles, and challenges. And once you keep a mindset and change the perception where you welcome failure, it's like, is it Edison made the light bulb? Not Edison. Is it Edison? I think it's Edison. But he failed anyway about 20,000 times, let's say. Failed. But his perspective was he learned 19,999 times, because that's what led him to actually make the bloody light bulb work. If he had given up after 1,000 or 2,000, we wouldn't have electricity unless someone else went and did it. So it's the same with everything, like the smartphone that we've spoken a lot about. How many steps does it take to get to where that is now, where in essence, it's a computer on your hand that does everything? It's unbelievable. It's only about 15, 20 years ago, people had bricks, pretty much a brick that just did phone calls.
That's true.
So it's all, again, step by step, learning. Same again if you're an athlete. You end up getting fourth, let's say fourth in a race. You're devastated. You didn't get a medal. But there's a valuable learning there. Why did you come fourth? How can you come third the next time? So how can I get that extra 1-2% better? So we have to change our perception around failure. We need to embrace, we need to welcome failure. Want it more, because The more you're failing, the closer you're getting to success. That's the ironic thing about people's perception and reaction to failure. If you react negatively to it, you're going nowhere. You're stopped dead in the water. You have to embrace failure, welcome failure, and see that if I'm failing a lot, but once I'm moving forward by learning the lessons, I'm getting there even faster. So I'm going to get there a lot faster than the people who are in poor me and excuse and blame mode. So we just have to reframe and see the word failure in a completely different light. That's a huge thing.
What's one simple piece of advice you would give to somebody who feels stuck and want to break through and to the next level of the high performance?
I suppose reflect on, let's say if it was years or decades of their whole life, why are they in the moment they're in now? So why are they stuck? Reflect on that, then kind of review it, and then kind of plan using that information, because that's your individual personal research of that has taken you to where you are now. So what could I have done better? What maybe did I do wrong? What am I not doing? Maybe I'm constantly staying in my comfort zone. When you really look at it, I'm staying in my comfort zone. So of course I'm not moving forward. Of course I'm stuck. Do one thing, commit to one thing that will get you outside your comfort zone. And once you do that, you get success, you feel better, you'll be empowered, and you're going to get outside your comfort zone again and again and again, and then it gets easier and easier and easier. Like, give a quick example. Say, me doing something like this 20, 30 years ago would have been unimaginable. Talking to a camera, talking to people, talking to yourself. I want to be hiding away. It's like in school. I want to be at the back in the corner. I don't want the teacher to ever ask me a question. But what did I do? In my journey over those 30 years, probably about 20 years ago at this stage, when I started going to like online marketing, personal development, business type events, I used to again stay at the back because I wanted to make sure the speaker couldn't pick at me, ask me a question or something like that. But what I decided, you know what? I'm staying in my comfort zone. I have to get out of this. So I started doing is I'd go up to front row once I could get there, or as close as I could. And when they would ask for a question or for someone to volunteer for something, I would volunteer. I would hate it. I would have my whole body crumbling inside going, don't do this. But I knew that I needed to get outside my comfort zone. And once I did, it got easier and it got easier and it got easier. And now while I still would get a bit nervous, whether it be speaking on podcasts or events or whatever, that just shows your passion or your interest in it. I don't have to get outside of comfort zone now. I love it. I'm embracing it. So get outside your comfort zone. That's the most important thing to get unstuck, because there's something that's keeping you stuck. What is it? Identify, so reflect, review, plan, commit to a step, take that step, and then be empowered by it.
When you say that we have constantly to ask ourselves and compare ourselves with what we did yesterday, before yesterday, and how can we improve today, are we coming to the point that in fact we do not have any competitors? We are competitors only with ourselves from yesterday.
Exactly. And that is such an important point, especially in today's world. Like you said, in shiny objects, seeing other people's lives, thinking, oh, they're doing better than me. Oh, look at him in his Ferrari. Who knows if it's even true? But the simple thing is, comparison's the thief of joy. So comparing will always have you in trouble. Marketing is based on, again, comparing, like all the beauty products and all the health products and supplements and whatever. It's all about, oh, look at this person. They use this. You want to be like that? You need to buy this thing. So we're bombarded by comparing. We're forced to compare. But as I say, comparison's a thief of joy. You have only one competitor in life, and that is you. Because again, you are the person who decides how you react to everything. You are the only person who can improve your life. You're the person who holds the pen, literally writing the script of your life every single day. How your day goes is based on what you wrote that day on your script, by the actions you made and the decisions you made. So people need, again, that's why I said even earlier about eyeballing yourself in the mirror and be 100% honest, because that's your competitor. That's the only person to compare against. And I stress to clients all the time, simple motto. We need to really simplify things down, because again, people try to overcomplicate. Simple motto: today be better than yesterday, this week be better than last week. If you literally do that, and I mean, it could be the tiniest little action step forward. If you do that, you can only go one direction. You have to keep improving. It's impossible not to. So you're guaranteeing inevitable success once you just keep moving forward, no matter how tiny the step is.
You see, when you're saying that, it seems that we literally somehow needs to exercise ourselves in different spheres. But one of the things is that so many people are confused in other areas of exercise, because people usually like to say exercise equals gym, done. There is no
Yeah.
mental exercise. There is no any other spiritual exercise and so on. So can you please a little bit explain us about these other fields of workout except that physical exercise?
Yeah. It's important, like exercise, everything. I've touched on exercise in your mind and the importance of that. So every day you should be exercising your mind. Every day you should be exercising your body. And both of those things are going to give you energy and make you feel better. You need to push yourself again, even comfort zone wise. Exercise new skills. What new skills can you develop? It could be playing an instrument. It could be learning a new language. We spoke earlier on about Irish, and I said, like, I'm relearning Irish. So that's getting me outside my comfort zone. It's pushing me, pushing my boundaries. It's adding a new skill. It's getting my brain functioning. So, we need to exercise our mind regular basis, exercise our body, spirituality, whatever that means for you, because spirituality can mean so many different things. We need to, again, use these things, mindfulness, meditation. These are really powerful strategies and tools that are being so underutilized. But also a lot of people they don't understand the power of them because they don't hear enough about it, or there's so much confusion out there. Like, we live at a time when there's never, ever been so much information. We have so much information at our fingertips. The problem is that most of it, or a huge percentage, is absolute rubbish and just contradictory, conflicting, or agenda-driven by whoever is putting it out there. And
Absolutely.
also expert-wise. It's crazy. And expert-wise, there's so many inverted commas experts, but how many of them are really actually experts? Not that many, because it's so easy now to qualify in nearly everything. Like I was told the other day, someone knew someone who qualified as massage virtually. How can you become a masseur and you haven't even touched the body in your life? You can do the same as personal trainers. You can do it in many disciplines because it's become about money. Like, unfortunately, the world is run by money, and industries and food industries and all these different things. They have their agendas on it, and that's why, like I always say, healthy, happy people don't make any profit. So the goal for everyone needs to be healthy and happy, and then you'll have everything you want in life because you've true freedom. So it's trying to break free of those kind of shackles, break free of societal conditioning. That's something that's really important for people to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I cannot let you from this call, even though that we are already breaking the time we agreed to speak today. And I know that you're a high performance coach, you stick to your boundaries, but I cannot let you off the call before I ask a couple of more things, Dave. And
No problem.
one of them is that people connect usually exercise equal gym equal nutrition plan. But I know that so many of them are confused when it comes about nutrition. So can you please tell us a little bit what are the facts and how can we handle these parts ourselves?
Sure, because the two of them are probably the most confusing things there is on the internet. What you should eat and how should you exercise? How do you get results? How do you get healthy, or how do you lose a few pounds or build muscle or whatever it might be? So let's just take exercise first. So from an exercise perspective, I'll give you 3 guidelines that will revolutionize your results. No matter what your goal is, doesn't matter if it's trying to tone up, lose fat, build muscle, or athletic performance. If you do these 3 things, I can guarantee you get progress. First one is intensity. It goes back to like the comfort zone. If you're doing the same thing all the time, how can you expect things to get better? Like, most people in the gym are doing the exact same workout day in, day out, month after month, year after year even. Same level, same reps, same weight, same cardio, same intensity. You have to push your boundaries in everything in life. Exercise is no different. This is where it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So a lot of people might spend 2 hours in the gym 6 days a week, but they see no difference. Quality over quantity. So intensity, even if it's only a 15-minute workout, if you apply intensity, you're getting 10 times the results if somebody spends 2 hours there without intensity. Because it's about stimulating your metabolism. Your metabolism is the rate you burn calories at. If you don't stimulate your metabolism, you ain't going anywhere. Doesn't matter how much training you do. And if you're doing exercise at a low to medium level, there's no stimulation, there's no push, there's no getting out of your comfort zone. When you push your body, it has to adapt. It wants to adapt. It doesn't want to feel like that again. So it wants to adapt. It gets stronger, it gets fitter, it gets more toned, it gets whatever. And the next time you can go a bit harder and so on. Like, a simple example would be someone could go to a field or to have a big back garden and walk or jog up and down a bit, then sprint it, then walk or jog, sprint, walk or jog, sprint. It could be by distance, it could be by time. Same could be done on a treadmill, a row, or bike, skipping rope, boxing bag, whatever. So intensity is number 1. Second one is progression. As I said, if you work out intensively, your body progresses. That means the next time you can do more. Always aim to do more. Now, it doesn't mean you can always do more, but aim to do more. because you may have had a bad sleep, might be stressed, you might not be focused. Could just be one of those days. It could be middle of winter, it's dark outside, and that's affecting you energetically and emotionally. There's many factors, but aim to do more. So always aim to push your body, because physically it will be able to, all things being equal. Third thing is muscle confusion. Regularly change your routines. 2 reasons. 1, you'll get bored of the same thing. And if you get bored, you're not going to put in the same kind of effort. You're just going to go through the motions, tick the box. I did my workout. You're not going to give it much. The other thing is your body gets bored. Once you get 3-4 weeks into a routine, you're doing 3 to 6 times a week, your body stops progressing at the same level it did in the first week. And it'll basically be, progressing high at the start, less to flatlining. It doesn't matter how hard you're working, even if it's the same routine, it's not pushing your comfort zone. So you have to change up. So intensity, progression, muscle confusion. Those 3 principles, apply them to your workouts, guarantee you the results immediate, because you're stimulating your metabolism, and you feel great from it as well. Because you're saving time. We're about productivity and being a high performer. You don't need to train an hour, 2 hours a day. 15 minutes can do amazing. Like in the morning, I do a 20-minute interval session in the morning, like interval or hit, that style. And I do a 45-minute weight training session in the afternoon. They're my workouts. They're not long, but I go in, I get the job done, I do it hard, I do it fast. And I always aim to progress every single time. And I change my routines every 3 weeks, something like that. So apply them and you will get results guaranteed. Now we throw into nutrition, again, another minefield with so much confusion. A few very simple things, the simplest thing that people need to do. When I actually was speaking to the guy when I was walking the dog there before this call, he was asking me that, what's one thing I can do? From a food perspective, eat less processed food. That's probably the most important thing for everybody. Because look, the bottom line is, the food industry wants you to be addicted to its food. If you're addicted to its food, you're going to buy that food, and you're going to spend more money on that food. You're going to buy more of that crap food. And when you're addicted, you just can't get enough of it. So you're going to overeat it, overspend it. You're going to try everything that's like that. So the less man has done to a food source, the better it is for you. You want to stay as whole food as you can. So suppose, and the thing is, supermarkets are well designed. It's like the smells coming from the bakery and the breads is always right in the door because it wants to draw you there. All the sweets, confectionery, processed foods are always in the middle aisles that you have to go through to get to like the fruits and veg and stuff like that. So it's brilliantly designed to make you have to go through certain parts where you naturally pick up different things. And if you're in that addiction phase, you're definitely picking up that stuff and loading your trolley. So focus and decrease your processed food intake. That is the most important thing, because it is literally addiction. So it's like any kind of addiction. You have to start having less to eventually none or very minimal. Now, I'm not saying to everyone, never eat chocolate, never eat cakes, never eat a pre-made meal, never eat 8 of a box. I'm not saying that. You want to make that a very tiny part of your week. Now, if right now that's every day, every meal, even just pick one meal that you're not going to eat that's processed. It might just be a piece or 2 of fruit, handful of nuts. You might make a quick stir fry, which is easy. Things like that, just one meal. Like I said, today be better than yesterday, this week better than last week. It's about small steps, not about monumental leaps. That'll never work. So eat less processed food, eat more whole food, more fruits and vegetables. Fruits and veg is the food that matters most. You hear so much about protein, carbs, and fats. Good fat, bad fat. Don't eat fats. Don't eat carbs. Don't eat sugars. You need all this protein. No, you don't need all this protein. Like, it's all conflicting. The most important nutrients for our body, our health, our well-being, our brains, optimal health, longevity, fighting disease, fruits and vegetables. Why? It's vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, chlorophyll. Why are they important? That's what your immune system is built on. That's what your gut depends on, the fiber and everything from them. If you don't have good gut health, if you don't have a good immune system, you're going to be sick all the time. And you're just going to get sicker and sicker and sicker the more you move away from that. So it's very important to have loads of fruits and vegetables and a wide variety. Now, again, if you're right now, I don't eat any fruits and veg. Commit to 1 piece of fruit and 1 veg a day for the next week, 2 weeks. When that becomes normal, move it to 2, to 3, so on. Smoothies are a great way to get fruits and veg in, because you won't taste all the stuff. Like, I don't like celery. I get it in through my smoothie. I don't like beetroot. The same thing. I throw it in my smoothie.
Literally push yourself.
Exactly. And just build on it. It's like with smoothies. I'm a big advocate of smoothies because you're getting a lot of nutrition in one blast. You're getting in food you wouldn't normally eat. and it's fiber included as well, because it's a whole food gone in, versus juices, which are nearly like heroin shots in a sugar sense, because there's no fiber to slow the release. So it's going to drive your insulin levels through the roof. So I wouldn't be a great fan of juices, except in certain situations, like health situations where they will be very beneficial to get the nutrients in fast. Smoothies is literally a very convenient way of getting a lot of good nutrition into your body, and especially foods you won't normally eat. So I've advised people to work on smoothies. Again, start off one a week. You might just have frozen strawberries, some banana, and some form of milk. That might be it. 3 ingredients. And again, a week or 2 in, add something else, build and build and build. Also important is to build in a treat day, reward day, cheat day, whatever you want to call it. No one can be perfect all the time. No one should be aiming to be perfect all the time.
I love this part. Tell me about that part.
I tell people like this one. So remember I said earlier about on-off in terms of work, being high performing from a work perspective. One of an on switch and an on-off switch. Same with food, same with life in general. I advise people to have 5 or 6 days where you're on. So you do your exercise, you do your mindfulness, you feed your mind what it needs, you do your work, you do your exercise, you have set bedtimes, going to bed, waking up, and so on. Lifestyle. 1 or 2 days, no rules. You do what the hell you want, because it's good for your body to reboot. It's like with the exercise and not getting bored. You won't get bored either. You actually rejuvenated to go again, to be good Monday to Friday, let's say. Also, when you do eat any kind of crappy food you're not used to, you really feel it. You still enjoy it, but you'll feel it in your body. So it's showing you, God, my body's actually getting really clean. And it incentivizes you to actually eat less crap or drink less crap if it's alcohol and stuff, or soft drinks. So you actually end up decreasing them by minimizing the amount in the week, but you're allowing yourself to have that window where you can have it. And I stress that if you have, let's say, 2 days that are called off days, reward, whatever, the key is that you don't see them as days you eat and drink whatever you want, because this is my only opportunity. I need to fit it all in. You only have something if you want to, because again, it's about being in control. You don't just stuff stuff in your mouth just because you can. You put it in because you actually want it. Remember, everything about your business, your life, every aspect is about being in control. You make the decisions. You're responsible for everything that's going on. So factor in cheat, reward, treat, whatever you want to call it, into your life 1 day a week or 2 days a week. And just on that, if you go on holidays or things like Christmas and Easter or birthdays, switch off. Enjoy, no rules, go away, do what the hell, because most of the year is your on time. You know, you might get 2 weeks, 4 weeks holidays a year. There's the odd days here and there for Easter or Christmas in a few days or birthdays. Most of the year you should be in on mode anyway. So when you have the opportunity to be off and go away and enjoy it and do whatever the hell you want.
This is absolutely powerful what you're bringing up here, and I believe that for so many people, this episode will push them to start thinking, and to start thinking absolutely in different direction. And I definitely want to make another episode with you where we will strictly speak about food, because I'm someone who truly believe that if we check the photos from 70s or 60s, people were not fat, people were not dealing with obesity. And I will use a little bit of time to share something from my part of the story, and why you and me will definitely make one more episode considering the food. And here is why. I'm someone who everything in my life managed to change the place where I live, change the work which I'm doing, change the profession, and created a life of my dreams. But somewhere down the road, I realized that I was losing because there was no happen change. What exactly? I lost my father when I was 24, and the reason for that is due to his bad habits of eating and drinking stuffs which are not good, especially dry food, fast food. I lost my mother when I was 32. This happened last year due to cancer, because entire her life she was facing obesity. And I grow up in the environment where if you eat a lot of sweets, it's okay. You have a heavy bones. Seriously.
Yeah.
If you smash like 100 grams of chocolate, it's fine. It's sweet. It's good. It couldn't be wrong. It's like cacao and milk, right?
Yeah. That's it, justifying. That's what people do, to justify their action.
100%. 100%. And everything is home style made. And yes, home style made is better than industrial style made. But if you made a jar of jam from the fruits and pour inside like 1 kilo of sugar. Sugar is industrial product. Is it
Yeah.
still healthy to eat or not? Right here, we're having the confronting of stuffs
Mm,
like even though that it's home style made, it's not very well. This
yeah.
stuff kills
Depend on the
energy.
ingredients. Yeah.
This stuff kills energy. These stuffs literally distract us. And I'm sure that everybody who is listening to this episode and watching this episode will start thinking about what they eat and what they drink, because I recently stopped drinking all fuzzy drinks, all energy drinks, and keep myself only on water and of coffee, black coffee,
Brilliant.
which I'm feeling myself way better. And I must use my chance to ask you one of the last stuffs. There are so many informations, as you said, and they are on the fingertip from us. And when we speak about high performance, there are several fields which are equally important. But now everybody would say, like, okay, where to start from? What is
Mm,
the first point, the first field I have to start from? And I
yeah.
know that you have also something created for our audience. And I know that you have something to give away as well. So can you please start with these stuffs, like where to start from and how to get these stuffs which you created for us?
Perfect. Yeah. Because hopefully I've added a good lot of value and made people think and kind of reflect on their own lives and see where they can improve from business, health, and so on. The first step would literally be to take a step. Okay. Now, what I would say to people to do is reflect on all the different areas we've spoken about, reflect on all those areas in their own life, identify the area where it might be the weakest. It could be there's no morning routine or evening routine. Maybe they're not, maybe they're just going through the day like a hamster wheel, never deciding, actually, you know what is my number one priority today? And just kind of scrambling, looking at the to-do list, randomly picking out actions, and which will mean you just gravitate towards whatever the easier things are, not the ones that are most challenging and most urgent. That might be what you do. So just picking 1 to 3 priorities every morning might be gold. The jigsaw idea, deciding on what are my blocks and what are important in the day, where do I put them? Or it might be a case to go, you know what, I'm actually quite productive in my business, but I don't take care of my health at all. And you know what, I don't take care of my brain. God, I thought I was really healthy and thought my brain was working well, but I don't drink water. I drink 10 cans of Coke a day. I drink Monster. I drink tons of coffee. My brain ain't working a fraction of what it should be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drink half a liter of water every day for the next 2 weeks and then build on it. That's a very powerful step. Well, it's only a small step, but every big change comes from the first small step. It's about a small step. You never exercise or you haven't for a long time, just do a workout, go on YouTube, type in home workout, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, jump around, turn on a song you like, dance, whatever the hell. Something you haven't done, move your body. You don't feed your mind positivity. Watch a YouTube video, listen to an audiobook, buy a book, read a book. Look at the people around you, spend less time with certain people, spend more time with other people, join a networking group. You can do so many different things, but what I would stress is pick one. Just commit to one and commit to that one this week. After listening for the next week, you're going to do one of those and you're going to tick that box no matter what every day. Now, if you do more than that, you do 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, amazing. But the thing about progress and developing improvement, you commit to something that becomes a non-negotiable, like that one step. If you do more, amazing. If you committed to like 3 or something and you do 5, amazing. But if you do 2 or 1, that's not allowed. So whatever you're committing to, you can't do less. You have to do what you're committing to. But if you do more, fine. But make sure what you're committing to is there's no excuse not to do it. Like there's no excuse for everyone not to exercise at least 5 minutes a day. There's no excuse not to listen to something, not to do some of the productivity strategies. So it goes back again, today be better than yesterday, this week be better than last week. So if everyone can just pick one area of their life they want to improve on or need to improve on, probably more importantly, pick one action step around it that's progressive and forward moving and commit to that for the next 7 days and do it. And then build and build and build and build. And I can guarantee your life is only going one direction because it's about long-term, bigger picture. See the big picture. Stop looking at shiny objects. Stop looking for magic pills, magic diets, all this stuff. They don't exist. There is no quick way. The quickest way is to become more productive, become a higher performer. That's the quickest way. And there's lots of little things that we've spoken of, and there's so many other things we could have spoken about even that lead to high performance. So pick one thing and start your journey, and I guarantee you're going to move the right direction. One big one for a lot of you probably, turn off the damn phone tonight or throw it out in the drawer in the kitchen. Do not have it beside your head. that is massive. That will impact every area of your life because it will improve your sleep, which will improve your energy, which will improve your mood, your concentration, everything. That's probably the most important step for everybody if you have your phone beside you at night. I would highly recommend you focus on that step and make that a non-negotiable from now on because it will be life-changing. I can guarantee that.
Absolutely amazing. Dave, how can people contact you and what you have for them if in order if
Perfect.
they
Yeah.
want to start changing their life and
Yeah.
starting performing higher and higher?
If anyone would like to get in touch, see my stuff, I put out loads of free content every single day across all social media. So you just put in my name, Sheehan, Sheahan, so Dave Sheehan. Type me into Google if that's even a quicker way of finding me. But into any social media, you'll find me. And I have tons of stuff on all the platforms. I put out stuff every single day for free. Okay. So again, I do my best every day to make a difference, as well as people that I obviously work with who they just get an added bonus of working me on an individual basis. What I have for you guys, because I wanted to give you something special for Nick having me on this, and hopefully I've added a lot of value already, but this is a way of helping you to take those first steps and stick to those first steps and getting a foot on the stairs, let's call it. I want to help you get that foot on the stairs and embed it so you are definitely going the right direction. So what I'm going to give you guys is I'm going to give you one free, 100% free coaching call. So you're going to coach a call with myself, okay? One-to-one, not group, one-to-one. Because I believe in personalizing things. So I want to talk to you about your current situation. What are your problems? What are your challenges? What is your aiming for? And I will give you at the end of that call a couple of actionable steps that will change your life immediately once you implement them after the call. You have plenty to implement even from what we've done in this, but we'll go into some more stuff and very personalized stuff on our one-to-one call. You're also going to get 1 month's access to my Mind Body Health community. This is my community of people from all over the world who I coach in a group setting. So we do like weekly group coaching calls. You get unlimited support. You get access to the whole library resources of books and audios and videos I've created over the last 30 years. Like, it's a great community for people all over the world. So you're going to get 1 month's access to that. And also I'm going to give you a digital copy of my last book, Metabolic Stimulation System, which will really clarify a lot of the things we touched on today around mind, body, and health in particular. Now, what you need to do is Nick will share a link with you. You just go to that link, put in your details. I'll confirm and follow up the video immediately after that you have successfully done that, and you'll get an email soon after that with access to everything. Links to book in your one-to-one with me, links to join our private groups for the membership, and the digital copy of the book will be attached. So that should be a good foot up to get you guys going.
Absolutely amazing, and definitely I'll do that. Guys, once again, if you want to get in touch with Dave to get that free ebook, to get free one-to-one session, and to be a part of that community of high performance achievers, you can do all of this checking the link below in the description of this video, actually audio. And Dave, I must use once again chance and tell you that I'm really grateful and thankful to you for your time, for your energy, and for all the golden nuggets you spilled here today. You're like an encyclopedia of high performing coaching. I really love it. And once again, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me on. You know, I love getting any opportunity to help people. Like I said, this is my purpose. I feel it's what I'm genuinely put here on this earth for. I feel it's genuinely why I went through what I did, 7 to 17, and also the roller coaster since. And I will be doing my best to make a positive impact on people to my last breath. So thank you for having me on, and thanks to your listeners for tuning in.
Fabulous. Guys, this was Dave Sheehan, and he sent with us a lot of golden nuggets. Write them down, start implementing, and check the link below in the description to get in touch with him and his free stuffs. Until the next episode, bye.